Conquering Mount Scrapper with Brenda. I'm Brenda, and we're here today with a Free Pattern Friday. Yes, it's Free Pattern Friday. I'm doing something a little different here because I came up with a really cute idea for a baby quilt, and I thought, yes, we can do it all as a Free Pattern Friday, but this is my thing. You guys can just play along and see the blocks I'm making. This one I'm calling Love Chain because it's just adorable. It's just one of those cute little blocks that comes together, and we had fun with the, cutting a large scale print, so we've got something like that to show off. We've got some stripes going on. We've got a whole bunch of other scrappiness with the low volumes. It's just going to be wonderful, and I was so excited to share this with you. But like I say, I made 4 of these because I am making a baby quilt, but we're not going to make you watch me sew all 4. So we did sew 4 together. Now, let's do this first because I will forget. Michele at Rashworks, I hope I'm saying that right, Michele. Her YouTube channel is going to be in our show notes below. So when when you go check her out, please tell her Brenda from Conquering Mount Scrapmore sent you. She doesn't know this is coming. And they never know when their shout outs are coming, right? So, I mean, I hope it does give them a little boost in their subscribers and their watch time. And you guys get to see someone else in YouTube that's doing quilting. So this is all good, all fun. Also, there in those show notes or that description box, look for that See More button. You're going to find all the Zoom sew dates from now until the end of the year. And we decided, okay, we're just going to run with the first Saturday of every month. And hopefully we won't have any cancellations or family emergencies or anything like that. And we're going to be, set in stone. So put them onto your calendar or add them onto your phone. And we're just going to have so much fun on those sew dates. And a bunch of us gather on Zoom. And I try and pick something easy to work on so I can chat with everybody. And it's been a lot of fun. Also, what's going on now? So yeah, out of Las Vegas is doing their Alaska charity drive. And the people that have participated for the last couple of years says that charity drive is such a hoot. It's so much fun to do. So I have also their YouTube channel and their website down below in those show notes. So if you have questions about it, please ask them. All I'm doing is advertising for them, and I'm hoping that some of you jump on board and have some fun with this because those guys are just having a blast down there with these charity drives that they do. Also, share, like, and subscribe our channel. Hit that bell so you don't miss content. I mean, all of this will help our analytics. And we see that, like, from our analytics, over half of you aren't subscribed. But, we get it. But we would really love you as a subscriber as well. Also, making comments, even if it's only a heart. That helps us so much with our analytics and pushes our video forward so we can continue bringing you free fun patterns like Love Chain, right? Also, we have a Facebook group, and we do fabric exchanges by country to keep the postage costs down. We also do numerous community chats. We have just so much fun in there. And they also have a community chat now set up for the current sew along that we're doing on Wednesday, which is called Spring Fling. We also have a virtual sewing room under Discord only for the Facebook group members. So you have a sew date 24/7. So it's so much fun in there. Like, I try and get in there as often as I can too. And there's always a bunch of ladies in there, and they're all becoming friends because they're hanging out and sewing with each other. Also, I speak for free to quilting groups and quilting guilds. So if any of you are looking for speakers that talk about elements of design, making charity quilts, and using scrap fabric, please put my name forward. I'd be happy to accommodate a speaking engagement with you. I also come with gifts. So that's kind of like my way of helping the guilds and groups out there use up their scraps. Now, I also look for shout outs, right? Like, all of you that are watching, if you see a quilting channel that's out there and they're making some great content and all the rest of the stuff, send their link to me, because I'm really lousy at doing research. Send their link to me, and I'll try and get them on a shout out schedule, right? Now, it's so important that we hear that. Now, both for the speaking engagements and the shout outs, there is my email address under the About tab on the YouTube channel, or you can message me through Facebook, because I'm much faster at Facebook replies than I am with email. Also, Spring Fling with Strings is on right now, and a couple weeks after that ends, we're going to do Quilt Bingo. Now, Quilt Bingo is a skill builder. Now, I have to get all that stuff organized, but I'm going to try and make it like a beginner, an intermediate, like an expert level. So depending on where you are in your quilting journey, you know, you can pick whatever level you're at, or you can try to work on something harder. And the guys that are experts, and if you got life is happening in your household and you only have 13 minutes in your sewing room, you might want to try a beginner block because it's fast and quick and easy. So, but anyways, all the quilts are going to look different. Everybody gets the same skill builder bingo card, and we're just going to have some fun. And I'm going to be explaining some of the rules. Like, there's no rules really, but there's rules. And you do get your free spot in the mail for whatever block you want to use. Or if you have an orphan block that's just laying around, you can use that one as well. Okay, I think that's it. Okay, so come on in. Let's get to the sewing of Love Chain. Okay, we're at the sewing machine. Now, there's a couple of ways you can do this block and sew this all together. You can sew all 4 of these pieces together, and then sew all of these 5 pieces together, and then sew these pieces on to the outer corner. You can do it that way. You can also do it where, now none of this outside edge is unbiased, by the way, when you're cutting it, because the cutting instructions are given so that none of it's unbiased. Now, the other way you can do it is you can sew your flying geese units together and your half square triangles together, and then just assemble it like a uneven 9 patch. And I think that's what we're going to do today. I tried a couple different methods when I was sewing this together, and I was one was one better than the other, not really, but yes, and you know, it was kind of yeah, whatever. So I decided, okay, we're gonna do it this way. We're just gonna do it as an uneven 9 patch, because we don't have to get fancy, we just have to get it sewn together, right? Babies do not have an Angry Baby Coalition on ugly quilts. They do not. So I'm hoping that this baby likes this quilt when I'm done, but you know, it's kind of the ABCs of babies against ugly quilts. Angry Baby Coalition. Now, I'm going to do all of these first, because I think that's going to make the best results. I should have cut these with the easy angle ruler. I think this would have been a little bit easier for me to manage, but oh well. That's okay. I have 2 dog ears removed instead of 1. That's fine. One method is not better than the other with this, too, right? And I kind of think about, it's just, you know, the way you want to sew it together, right? Now, okay. The light goes, oh, it's got to go to the dark. Press to the dark. There we go. And the light goes out. There. Yeah, it was kind of, what was it, yesterday? Yeah, it was yesterday. I was in the sewing room and I showed people this block and they were kind of, ooh, kind of cool. They'll have to wait like months before they see it on video, but yeah, it was an interesting little block to come and do. So to come up with. And it's one, you know, it's not a hard block. It really isn't. It's just doing the flying geese units a little differently, I guess. You know, this is not my favorite way of doing a flying geese unit. So, but we'll manage. We'll manage. It'll be fine. Okay, and now I trim a little deeper when I'm trimming off my corners. I don't go at a 45-degree angle or a 90-degree angle. I go a little deeper just because I want to remove as much bulk on that corner as I can, and I find that works. The thinner part of the seam right, that's less than the seam here, it is in the seam allowance, right? So it's not going to do anything silly, right? Okay. We're just going to put these down together, match them up the best we can. There we go. Okay. Ooh. What you want to do is match that corner. This pointed corner, that's what you want to match. There, and get this off. Yeah, 3 different purples, dark, a medium, and a light, but I kind of went more with 2 darks, but the darks are very different. There. There we go. There. I just remember where I learnt this method of assembling flying geese. This is from my grandma. She liked doing it this way. She felt it just gave her better points, better control, better everything. Ooh, that does not go there. That goes there. That goes there. That goes there. And we'll get the other one on. Now we're just going to press this out of the way. Right like so. And then line up this side with the point. You want to line up that point. Perfect. And now, oops, I'm just going to slide this over. Okay. Okay. Oops. There we go. Put that there. Take this. Push that dark again against the... There we go. Let's see. That's the more interesting side. That is the more interesting side. Again. Put the more interesting side towards the right side. When you, especially when you're dealing with a marble batik like this. I mix my batiks and regular stuff up. This is just a really lovely purpley marble that works. It's been just hanging around my sewing room for way too long. So it goes. It now goes. There we go. Okay. This is the more interesting side. Just take your time, line that up. There. There we go. Just like that. Oops. I get this out. And number 4. There we go. This is more interesting. This side. Yeah, it's been so we made it back from Tucson. We're filming this May 26th. So we made it back from Tucson the day before Mother's Day. Now, I spent my Mother's Day unloading a U-Haul truck, which is a first for me. I don't know if I'd ever want to do an international move again, but you know, things like this happen, right? I mean, and they happen for a reason, so it's okay. It's okay. Now I'm just going to get everything back up onto the board so you can see what I'm doing here. I'm going to take this opportunity again to introduce you to webbing. Here we go. Now, these blocks here just might be a little on the large side, right? Like these blocks right here, because they don't seem to fit this way. So you might have to trim down these blocks a bit. So let's do that before we continue on anywhere. So, and I'm just going to pull out a ruler. And these need to be 3.5 by 6.5, right? So 3.5, 1, 2, 3.5. Oh, yeah. Wow. We just cut off the dog ear. Okay. I can live with that. Now from the dog here, we need 3.5. So it's what? 3.5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, that's 6. Well, this is, it's what, 6? Wait a minute. 6.5 and 6.5. Is it really 6.5? Yes, it is. Just barely. Okay. 6.5. So that's 3.25. 3.25. We put the quarter line right at the top, and we take this line here and the quarter, and we're going to trim off just a hair, just that much. That's what you're out on that block. Now we're going to go the other side, and we're going to go 6.5, lining it up perfectly, and that's what you're trimming off. So you did not trim off a lot, but it does make a difference as to how easy then it becomes to sew together. And you know what? And sometimes trimming sometimes helps so much in these blocks, and we forget that trimming, right, makes everything so much easier. Okay, so line this all up. There we go. And we want this 3.5 inches. 3.5 inches, and we cut off the dog ears. That's good. That's it. That's all there was. Okay, so we just keep moving on. And I'll get the other ones very quick like a bunny. Yeah, so I spent Mother's Day unloading a U-Haul trailer with all our possessions that, you know, we had in Tucson. And it was, just a minute here. It was kind of a sad experience, actually. I was very sad to leave Tucson. I love Tucson, but it was also time for a new adventure. And, you know, this way we get to spend more time with our grandkids, which, I mean, there's only so long they think you're cool. And then afterwards it's like, oh, Grandma, please don't embarrass me. I never did that with my grandmothers, but, you know, I could see kids, wait a minute. Oh, there. I thought I missed something. That I could see other kids doing that to their grandparents, and I was like, I always thought, wow, what a horrible thing for a grandparent to have to endure. Please don't embarrass me, right? It's like, they're not going to embarrass you. They're proud of you. Hopefully they're proud of you, and they love to make all sorts of wonderful comments about you, and, you know, that's kind of the thing that my grandparents used to do anyways. You know, sometimes I was too smart and too mouthy for my own good, but they loved me, right? So, yeah, it was okay. All right, there we go. So, all of this now, oops, let's get all this back. I'll get the stitch ripper out of there, the rotary cutter out of the way before I cut something that I don't want cut off. Okay, so now everything is trimmed. My half square triangles look good. They look like they're 3.5 square. And, you know, this is 6.5 by 3.5, right? 6.5 inch, right? Everything's gonna go together now like an uneven 9 patch. So let's just start with, and fabric is a little more forgiving than most people like to give it credit. And that's something, you know, we all get all crazy over, oh, we can't cut off our points, we can't do this, we can't do that. You know what? It's okay. If that's the best you can do, and you have a, you know, you have a point that you had to cut off, or this or that didn't work out just right, you know what? Don't be hard on yourself. Just enjoy the process. Have fun. You know, everybody's quilting journey too is different, right? Oh yeah, that's going the right way. Oh, I forgot to see whether I put all the stuff back in the right spot. We're going to find out really quick here, aren't we? Oh no! That's okay. I've done that before too. And I got a whole bunch of these little white triangles. There, to play with. And I've used a lot of them in my... Okay, let's make sure all the stripes are going the same direction. Yes, they are. Okay, we're good. We're golden. There. And all the dark is being pointed in. Oh, come on. There we go. Yeah, fabric's a little more forgiving than you think. And by the time you quilt it, even if your points are a little off, or you've cut off, points or whatever, by the time you finish quilting it, and, doing all the fun and washing it, because the washer and the dryer is where all the crinkly magic happens, you're not going to see this. You're not going to see the mistakes. There's too many other things to look at, and yeah, your points not being perfect is not one of them. I think we need, to just realize that, well, hey, we're trying our best, and, that's all we can do. I think people get too burnt out. I'm just going to throw these two together because they're not exactly matchy-matchy. I'm just sewing half square triangles together that are white just because I can. And I can move them out of my stash a little bit. There. Yeah, I think I looked this one up in the Barbara Bachman book, and it was called, one of the names for it was called Love Change. Yeah, I'm going to tell you something right now. It's a wonder beginners aren't just throwing up their hands in disgust at us, because some of these, every time I look at Barbara Bachman, there are some blocks that have like 14 names. And, I would imagine it's very confusing for a brand new quilter, to have to try and figure out why has this thing got 14 different names. Well, over time, names evolve, or, somebody just decides, I'm going to name it this, and that name's already been taken. But it's one of these, what ifs. There we go. Now, I'm sewing the bias is here on this fabric, on this white fabric. It's on top. I like it there because I can see what it's doing. I don't trust biases very much. And I am, not that I'm anti-bias, but I don't trust biases very much. I sometimes find them very, you can get into a lot of trouble very quickly if your bias is stretching too much. There we go. So what I'm talking about is this is a bias, right? So don't be stretching in this area, right? Because that would be so bad. That would just be awful. Oops, now let's see. Let's get this lined up. So I have a really nice sharp block. Okay, now we push that in. This goes out. Yeah, that goes out. That goes out. This goes in. Just like so. There. There. Clip that off. And this goes in. Yep, that goes that way. And this, what happened here? Oh, okay. Alright, that goes like this. This won't matter because there's stuff in between, there's stashing in between. It's not like I'm throwing block upon block upon block together, because you're pressing sometimes. There we go. There. Nice place. Nice match. Okay. Here. Now. And we're just going to run these two together. Here. We have a bunch of these. I was doing a Bonnie Hunter Crazy Pineapple whenever I'm stressed out, and as I'm finishing rounds of that pineapple, because it's all paper piece, right? I end up with these little bits and bobs of stuff. Okay, so this, you know, one is going this way and one is going that way. That's okay, right? Because there's going to be sashing, so you're not matching up, trying to match up stuff. So you want to get this as, you know, as smooth as possible. You know, you might have to press out away from the center on this, or you could press it in. I mean, that also would work. There we go. And we just give it a little finger press before we get to the ironing board. And I find that makes it a little easier. And don't be too, if you're finger pressing or using that roller, don't get too crazy here, because you need this, like I say, is a bias and it will pucker. So let's get to our ta-da moment. Okay, so here we are with our love chain. It just works out to 12.5 inches square. It'll be finished at 12 inches. And all of the big trick with this block is trying to get all these triangles to, when you're using a stripe, to make them go all the same way. And when I made my other 4, or other 3, because I'm going to use 4 of them all told in my baby quilt, is that, yeah, I was able to do that. And it's going to look just great. Now, I still have to press and iron all these, but I mean, this was a pretty fun block, and I used up a lot of that large scale focal. Actually, I think I have just a little bit of it left, and that's it, and the rest was put out for potato chip blocks that I like, a 2 by 3.5 inch, but yeah, I think I got rid of it all. So this was such a fun little project. Now, this is out of the baby quilt I'm making. This block's the hardest. You don't have to make the baby quilt. If all you want to do is make this block because it came together so nicely, and you want to use the 4 at a time method to make your flying geese, you know, that are like finish at 6 by 3 or 6.5 by 3.5 unfinished, right? If you want to use that instead, go for it. It's a great way to use up some fabric. My intention with the baby quilt is put some sashing on it, so I'm not going to worry about these blocks fighting seams with the blocks or anything else. So I hope you have an absolutely wonderful week ahead, and life is treating you very grand. Okay, so you take care and stay well until we meet each other again. Okay, bye! My husband and I would like to thank you for all of your support and watching our videos and sharing and liking. It has just been, you've put us on such an amazing journey, and we are having so much fun. I hope everything is going so well in your life, and you know, your 1/4 inch is perfect. Everything is working out for you. And we're just so happy to be part of your life, and you having, like I say, you're watching us. I was just so thrilled that you're doing that. So I want to say goodbye, and I want to thank you with all my heart. Okay? Take care. Bye.